folks. You're tuned into Markets Today. I'm Sakshi Batra, and on this edition, we discuss everything that the stock markets have gone through throughout the trading session, where were the gains and losses seen, and what is it that investors must track going forward from here on as well. Well, what started off in the green actually ended in the red. The day could not sustain the opening gains that we saw on the benchmarks. For example, the benchmark Sensex and the Nifty, both of them, they slipped into the red towards the end of the session, especially the Nifty slipping below 17,250 has got investors worried. Of course, there was a overhang of rising crude oil prices yet again. Brent crude was seen today trading at $117 a barrel, and that's something that weighed on the investors' sentiment as well. Now, when you talk about the other factors, like talk about the Sensex level today, it was down by over 300 points. It closed below 0.5% at 57,684 as well. Overall speaking, the Nifty was down by 70 odd points. The market breadth was favoring the bears at this point in time. About 1424 shares advanced, whereas 1891 shares declined in the trade today. In specific stock terms, you did have financial names like Kotak Mahindra Bank, HDFC, Britannia Industries, Bharti Airtel, and Cipla among the top Nifty losers in today's trading session, while the gainers included the likes of Hindalco Industries, Divi's Laboratories, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, and Tata Steel and UPL as well. Now, talk about the sectors also. Now, apart from, say, healthcare or metal or oil and gas and power, these were the indices that bucked the trend in overall weaker sentiment today, while sell off was seen in autos, in banks, in capital goods, and also the FMCG space. The mid and the small cap sectors, however, outperformed the benchmarks, in fact, ended flat on a second day in a row. The BSE Auto Index was down by 0.7% in trade, dragged by Tube Investments, also Maruti Suzuki, and the likes of M&M or Mahindra and Mahindra as well. The broader indices definitely outperformed the larger pairs at this point in time. The market breadth definitely skewed in favor of the bears in today's trading session. In specific stock terms, of course, a whole lot of focus was there on the oil and gas stocks that was seen in action today. Fino Payments Bank, however, jumped on approval to raise the authorized share capital. Payment company Paytm also was in focus today after consecutively declining for many days and hitting 52-week lows even in the yesterday's trading session. The stock was buoyant today on the back of clarification that it gave onto the exchanges on the robust fundamentals that it boasts of as well. Well, overall speaking, the markets are still tracking the macro headwinds of the geopolitical tensions emerging and running for the 28th day in a row with no solution or resolution in way as far as the Ukraine-Russia war is concerned. On the domestic front, of course, the rising crude oil prices have now trickled into the retail prices as well. The petrol and diesel prices have shot up for the second time in a row on a second day, after a gap of 137 days, when the oil marketing companies are slowly and gradually now rising the petrol and diesel prices. On both days, we actually saw an 80 paisa kind of a jump on petrol and diesel as well. The LPG prices have also shot up. All of this fueling into the concerns of rising inflation, and that is perhaps something that the investors are cautious about right now. The experts are really warranting at this point in time that traders should be very wary of the uncertainty and the volatile environment that still exists, and be very cautious of an intraday or a short-term trade. Whereas long-term investors, experts do believe that every dip will give some opportunity to buy into some quality fundamental names for the long term as well. Well, that's as far as the wrap up of today's market action is concerned. I'll give you all the updates related to the business and the stock markets and the buzz on D Street. So definitely stay tuned on to Business Today. And thank you so much for tuning in onto this one.